Hello, how's it going, everyone? Thanks for dropping back into the Apocalypse stream. I think I'm going to do this thing when I go live. I'm going to call it the Apocalypse stream because I'm streaming. When I do a cut and edited video, I will be called the Apocalypse stream. Let me know what you think about that, but I think that's how I'm going to go with it for now. I think eventually I'll just call it the Apocalypse stream. But for now, that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to get into it, I guess, because Jimmy Dore is on right now, and I kind of want to watch it because Max Blumenthal will be on it. And then I actually have a learning study group about Cuba, which is what I'm going to talk about today, Cuba, to go to at 7. So I'm going to try to rush through this. But first off, I kind of want to show, hold up a second. Again, I really need to, maybe, I use Brave browser. But maybe it's not the best for sharing my screen and stuff because it struggles to do what I need it to, and I can't really figure out how to let the streaming platform restream can't really figure out the permissions to let it share my screen. For some reason, I have to share the tab, and it's a little bit weird. So I don't know. Side conversation, but let me get to it. Les Bones, how's it going? Happy post Halloween. I'm going to share this little time lapse I have of some trick or treaters grabbing candy while I pick up another thing. But yeah, so I'm going to be talking about Cuba today and a little story and a little protest about that PSL had yesterday in San Francisco, which was about Cuba. So let me grab the video that I want to share, but check out the live stream of these kids trick-or-treating at my house. It's kind of funny. It's probably, I mean, it's not illegal, but I was recording a time-lapse video of kids getting candy from a bowl while I went to Costco to do my shopping for the day or for the next 2 weeks, which is crazy because there's like so much food shortage at Costco if you go to it. This next time you go to the grocery store, notice how expensive products are. Like maybe not like canned goods and things like that. That's probably the same, but like more of the fresher kind of thing. So went to Costco and like chicken was really expensive and they were actually like out of chicken, which is like weird that Costco had it's like out of stuff, but they were like completely out of like a specific. I think it was like chicken tenderloins or something like that. A specific like cut of the chicken they're out of. But yeah, let me get this up and running. Hi, Radical Leftist Agenda. How's it going? Happy November 1st. Okay, sorry guys. Let me set this up. I got like I have my work computer set up still, and I have like my mouse and my keyboards like attached to my work computer. So I'm using the trackpad on my laptop, and it's just a lot going on. But I'm just trying to do a quick stream. And sometimes when you want to do a quick stream, it doesn't really end up being quick. But let me share my Twitter really quick. So actually, oh, damn it. Really, I really got to stop using Brave when I stream. Okay. So let me share my Twitter. People already blasting the Mariah Carey Christmas song. Yep, today is the day for Mariah Carey. I think it's the Mariah Carey national holiday today. So here's a photo of the Costco in South San Francisco. And my caption was looking like Cuba with this poultry shortage. But basically, like usually this would be full to the max, with food. And this was like this particular cut. It was like tenders. They were completely out. All the chicken is like way more expensive. But yeah, it's looking like Cuba out here in the United States, and just like look it up. People are posting images of like what's out of stock. I saw a viral footage. I saw a viral photo going around about a Walmart in Maryland, and it was like the Walmart had like the produce section kind of like blocked off and saying like, sorry, we can't sell this. So it was really weird. Yeah, the strikes. Yeah, there's strikes. There's an airline strike yesterday, I think, or over the weekend, American Airlines. And the news is reporting that it was weather, but similar, like I think it was the Southwest Airlines prior, they were saying it was weather related, but it doesn't make sense when it's just one airline and all the other ones are doing fine, so you can't really say it's weather related. Exactly. I can't believe Raul Castro is like not providing us with all the chicken that we need here in the United States. But let me go to the main thing about my stream. So
noviembre. ¿Por qué 15 de noviembre?
let me set up the story. I'm gonna play this from the Watching News. But basically, on November 15th, Cuba is going to reopen its borders for the world, everywhere. Every single country can go back to Cuba on November 15th, except the United States, of course. But they're opening back up because Cuba has actually, on November 15th, Cuba is going to reach 92% of its population being fully vaccinated with their one of 5 COVID vaccination candidates. So I did a story earlier, I think in the summer, about the Cuban vax Sobrania 2, number 2, which is their most successful jab for a particular thing. But basically on November 15th, they're going to announce that the borders are back open, and the CIA is actually planning protests and an attempted coup on November 15th to unstabilize the country of Cuba. Now, they're doing this because once the borders of Cuba reopen, yeah, they're going to start a coup. But why they're doing this is because once the borders of Cuba open up, the economy is going to get better in Cuba. And they want, if the economy in Cuba gets better, the people are going to be happier, and the United States can't have that because 90 miles off the coast, a socialist country was able to develop 5 vaccines, vaccinate almost entirely the whole island, all their population basically, without any mandates or anything like that, with like with no access because of the embargo, no access to syringes, all these things, food, all of the necessary goods needed to produce this vaccine. Like, how was this island able to do it? It must, like, the socialism thing is scary. But let me play this video. Okay, so that's video one, but there's another video here. So let me play this really quick. And then I'll go on to some of the protests that I went to, brought on by PSL, San Francisco Bay Area PSL, and some of the speeches that I saw yesterday about this. Can you guys hear me? Hello, Invalid. How's it going? Welcome to the Apocalypse stream. Based here in rainy San Francisco. It's raining today. I'm going to go over the planned CIA coup and protests plans for November 15th, and then go over some of the speeches from yesterday. And I have a really cool announcement of something I heard yesterday that's being planned for this Friday, November 5th. To spread the word, but I'll say that at the last of my stream. Okay.
Hay una campaña internacional que está sumándose a la campaña tradicional de agresión a Cuba. Es decir, ha habido una campaña tradicional de Estados Unidos desde el inicio de la Revolución Cubana por poner fin a ese símbolo que ha significado la Revolución Cubana en la región, porque realmente nosotros como país somos un país pequeño, un país pobre, de tercer mundo, que lucha por lograr un mejor mundo posible, pero que no somos amenaza para nadie, un país muy pequeño. El único problema de Estados Unidos con Cuba es que ese país pequeño ha decidido ser soberano e independiente y puede representar un mal ejemplo para otros países de la región. Se usó la guerra convencional con una invasión, se usó y se usa un bloqueo agresivo, y en la medida en que ha ido evolucionando también las formas de agresión y de injerencia, se han sumado también las redes sociales e internet a esa guerra no convencional, pero que es también parte de una búsqueda por aislar, por desacreditar.
Okay, so I don't really know who this lady is. Margie. Obviously, she's Cuban. But she's basically saying, exactly what I said earlier, that they're going to open up the country on November 15th, and the United States wants to stage some sort of chaos, some sort of event a potential coup on that day, because they don't want the world to see that this small socialist impoverished country that is affected by U.S. blockades is able to vaccinate its entire population and get back on its feet on its own. So let me I'm going to read, and I'm going to read this pamphlet, a little highlights of this pamphlet that I got from PSL. So why is the United States spending hundreds of millions of dollars to try to destroy Cuba's government? Why does it blockade food, money, and other essentials of life from the island? Why does the U.S. target the Cuban people? Let's think about it. Cuba's socialist system puts people before profits. Healthcare is provided as a right, not as super profits for pharmaceuticals and insurance companies. We have in the US. Cuba's example frightens the billionaires and millionaires and the US government, whose only goal is more profits. This is why the United States is the only country in the world that prohibits citizens from traveling to Cuba. They do not want us to see that Cuba's peaceful, progressive society. They are afraid that if we visit Cuba, we will get crazy ideas, like the idea that healthcare, housing, and education should be guaranteed rights in our own country. Now, I can't support this statement enough, because in 2018, and I've been wanting to do a video about this, but it's just like I have to think about it. But in 2018, I went to Cuba while Trump was still in office, and because I knew that the border was going to close, and I wanted to go see what Cuba was like, and I went to Havana, and I didn't take the American tourist vacation in Havana. I went to Havana. When you're able to go there, you have to stay with a Cuban citizen in like an Airbnb type thing. But I stayed with a lady, made food every day. I literally went and wandered around Havana. I took public transportation everywhere, which they say you're not allowed to do, because they only accept the Cuban. There's two currencies in Cuba. There's the tourist currency, which is the coup, and then the currency of the peso, the Cuban peso, which is what the islanders use. So the public transportation, really old buses, only take the Cuban peso. But I was able to just just walk into the bus in the back and not say anything and get to where I needed to go. So I was literally trying to be as Cuban as possible, talking to everybody, and everyone's super nice, and everyone really loves the country. They understand, the Cuban people understand that the country's poor, but they also they wouldn't have it any other way, because they obviously no one wants to be poor, but they understand that the revolution, the socialist revolution, is more important than material things. So that's what I got out of my week stay in Havana, and I will do a video about it in more in depth. But yeah, so November 15th, the U.S. government and CIA's upcoming coup attempt. The U.S. government is preparing a new provocation inside Cuba on November 15th with CIA paid operatives after the protests on July 11th. Their plan is to create a false image of chaos on the island in order to justify more U.S. threats and sanctions, possibly even military action. We have just seen the tragedy of the Afghani people suffering 20 years of U.S. war and occupation, and the $2.3 trillion spent by the Pentagon to decimate the country. It's time to stand up and say, let Cuba live, and the U.S. blockade, no CIA coup. So let me Busbones, if we ever have the chance as U.S. citizens, and maybe I'm assuming you're a citizen of the United States. If you ever get the chance to go to Cuba, I would definitely highly recommend going and learning about Cuban history from a Cuban perspective. And let me really quickly go show you one of my prized possessions. Be right back. Hang on, give me 1 second. And then I'm going to play some videos from the protest. Actually, let me play the videos from the protest, and then I will go do what I want to share. Okay, so PSL had this event yesterday in San Francisco on Powell Market. Basically, what's happening in this video is all the event. Everyone from the event, including myself, took a photo. They were sending this photo to represent some sort of group in Cuba, and they just wanted to share all of the events happening around the world to support the Cuban people. And this was just us taking a photo, and you can hear some chants and things like that. So let me quickly go get what I was gonna get, and then let me play this. Cuba sí, bloqueo no. Cuba sí, bloqueo no. Cuba sí, bloqueo. Okay, so that's a quick little photo op that we did. That photo got sent to Cuba. I guess PSL was having these events all over the country, so they were all sharing it. I don't know if you noticed, but if you know Gloria lariva, she's one of the main people of PSL. She was a candidate for president last year. She's here. She's great lady. She's always out there, and if you ever get a chance to meet her, she's super nice. Whoops, don't want to share that. Maybe eventually I will ask her for an interview. So here's another speech. Actually, before I play that, let me share this history book. This is a 9th grade history book, Cuban history. I traded it for a skateboard. I traded it for a penny board. It has true 9th grade history of Cuba, not from a perspective of the United States or any Western government, but written by the Cuban government. And I traded this for a fucking penny skateboard, and it's probably one of the best trades I've ever made in my life. And also, gotta read this when you're in Cuba. You have to be drinking some rum, drinking some Cuban rum, and a Cuban cigar, and read the Communist Manifesto on the beach. at a restaurant or something like that. If you ever have the chance, when I was there, honestly, it was kind of weird because it was so new. But after, and I got the chance to reflect on the experience, it was one of my favorite places I've ever been to. So let me play this speech. So in this speech, I don't think I got the guy's name, but he's telling a story that when he was 9 years old, he moved to Cuba. And in his high school time, before the Cuban Revolution, when he was 9 years old, he moved to, not Cuba, he moved to Florida. And in high school, and after high school, he said that he would talk to people, and they would talk about their experiences going to Cuba before the revolution, and paying for prostitution and things like that. And then after the revolution, he talks about how Fidel, and part of the revolution was to make sure that no women had to prostitute themselves, because the revolution would guarantee that people had enough money and a job to not have to result in doing that kind of work. So let's hear what he had to say.
Short, and I'm not going to repeat all of the things that everyone else has said. I'll just tell our personal story about the significance of the Cuban Revolution. When I was 9 years old, my family moved to South Florida.
Sorry.
In the years before the Cuban Revolution. And when I started high school, I found out that a ritual of the senior boys in my public high school in this little town in South Florida was to get on a plane at the beginning of the weekend and fly to Havana to spend the weekend with very young women who had been put into prostitution. Girls, really. Even pre-teenagers. And these boys at my high school, which by the way was an all-white public high school by law during legal segregation, they would spend the weekend with prostitutes in Cuba and return on Sunday night, and on Monday morning they would brag about all their great adventures raping young girls in Havana. The moment that the Cuban Revolution succeeded, one of the very first declarations made by the Cuban Revolution, and of course Fidel, was to outlaw and abolish prostitution in Cuba. So please take it seriously when we say we want to protect the Cuban socialist revolution. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Our last speaker.
Okay, so yeah, sorry about the audio quality. He was a really light speaker. One of these days, I'm going to get better audio equipment for my GoPro. I get a mic and stuff, but you know how it be. I have other bills to pay before I can invest a little bit of money. So maybe for Christmas or something. Yeah, so basically he said that Fidel abolished prostitution after the revolution and protect the Cuban people because, I guess if that's what you want to do with your life, go for it. But you shouldn't have to you shouldn't have to result in doing that, right? You should have enough to you have some sort of other job. But if that's what you want to do, sure. I mean, I don't think you should abolish it necessarily, but you shouldn't be having to do that if you don't need to support yourself. So let me go to another speech. And yeah, yesterday I was trying to live stream this from Twitch. I had this situation where it couldn't go live. I was trying. So I don't know if I'm shadow banned or something on Twitch, but like every time I stream something kind of political, I can't do it. Like I get banned like for a week, and then it'll just start working again. So I don't know. The app was updated. I'm gonna try to start looking into live streaming stuff on Odyssey when this happens. But I want to be able to live stream. I just don't have enough people on YouTube to go live using the mobile app. So eventually, with your guys' help, with your guys' help, I think I need 100 people to go. No, I don't know if I need 100 people to go live from the mobile app or 1,000. But anyways, still a long ways from either. So for now, yeah, I'm gonna try to just record via GoPro, and then maybe just do this. So let me go to the next video. I'm not really sure which one I'm gonna play. No, not this one. Let's 100. Oh yeah, I get mixed up because I think for 100 it might be I can change my Twitter handle. Okay. Yeah, I think it's 1K subs to go live for mobile. And then if this Restream platform had a mobile app and I can just restream or stream from there, I would be doing it, but you can't do it. So let me play this next one. It's a little long. If you guys are like kind of bored with what they're saying, just put it in the comments. I could fast forward it or maybe go over, but pretty interesting stuff. So let me go ahead and shut up and play the video.
We're in with the Socialist Workers' Party.
Thank you. All of us here today
Let me do a quick introduction. So I didn't get this guy's name, but he's from the World Socialist Party. I think he's not like the founder, but he might be like the main organizer in the Bay Area. But the World Socialist Party is, I think the history goes that PSL broke up into two different organizations, one being the World Socialist Party and then one being PSL. And I think the Peace and Freedom Party also, it might be three organizations that broke up, but they used to be all one. So yeah, let me let me shut up again.
stand with the working people of Cuba. We all oppose the ever-tightening sanctions against Cuba and the new provocation. We must answer the lies about Cuba. It's important to read, study the history, the lessons of the revolution and the relations between this revolutionary country and this bastion of U.S. imperialism. Let's never forget, as many other demands as we make, let's also continue to demand an end to the occupation of Cuba. U.S. out of Guantanamo. Workers in this country are fighting on a scale we haven't seen for quite a number of years. There's a real wave of strikes taking place. Just last week, the John Deere United Auto Workers went on strike. Over 10,000 workers. Kellogg cereal workers, members of the bakery union. They're fighting to defend what we've won in past years and decades, as well as to make some gains with the rising prices, inflation, rents, etc. Right in this region, there's over 700 members of the Stationary Engineers Union on strike at 24 Kaiser hospitals all across Northern California. This is a very important strike. My experience and experience of other members of my party on the picket line with these strikers is that quite a good number of them are open to deeper discussions about what's needed, how we can build a movement that can fight to emulate the Cuban Revolution. So let's continue to demand stop the economic and political war against Cuba. Thank you.
Okay, so World Socialist Party guy, this older gentleman, if you were able to hear that, and again, I apologize for the audio. It's loud, it's a main street, and there's like random people talking in the background and stuff. Gonna try to get the audio equipment, but basically, he said that, you know, all workers need to unite. He touched a little bit on the workers striking in the United States and how we can take lessons from the Cuban Revolution and how the workers took over and apply it here, which is his basic sentiment. So let me go to the next guy. This guy, he is the director of one of the Assange groups. I've seen him a lot. I forget his name, but I always see him. He's always hanging out with Code Pink in the Bay Area and PSL. I always see him at these events. Thanks for going to all this stuff and showing. Of course, guys, I've always been doing these kinds of things, and it wasn't until COVID that I was like, hey, I could be live streaming this stuff, let people know what's going on in the Bay Area. Because I think, you know, the Bay Area is like Democratic, is the lion's den for the Democratic Party. Nancy Pelosi's here. Ro Khanna, like Barbara Lee, Eric Swalwell, like a lot of these like very popular Democratic Party people. I think even like the headquarters is the main headquarters is here in San Francisco, and they think it's progressive, but like I kind of want to show like there are people that are way more progressive than all of this, and that's what I want to show to everyone. Like when I lived in SoCal, I always thought the Bay Area was this like progressive utopia, but when you get here, you find out it's actually mostly shit libs, mostly shit libs, and then people like me and people that you see that are like, I guess when I started to actually like be more political, we noticed that the Green Party has a good footprint here, but you know, Democratic Party controls this area, and it's lame. So let me now share the next video, the Assange guy, Tech Zone 2. I moved up here thinking, oh, I'm going to get a job at Google out of college, and thankfully I never did. Thankfully I never did. I'm sure it would have been fine, a cool experience thing, but never got a job at Google. I did work at a startup, but in the past, but it was a social impact startup. And I got fired because the company wasn't making enough money, and I was the third employee that they hired. But I'm not going to say much about that. And it was related to food waste and feeding people. And I'll just say that. I won't say what I used to work with, but I do. Let me just go ahead and share this video. All right, this one's a long one, so again, if it gets boring, just let me know, and I'll cut it out and go to the next video.
You know, it's interesting, Julian Assange is in prison today. What did he do? He released information about the real criminals in this world. In fact, the real criminals are in the White House. The real criminals are in Congress, supporting more wars around the world. The military budget is going up, while people are dying on the streets. That's a crime. That's a crime that's going on. Our committee was for the defense of Julian Assange and for getting the truth out. And our committee believes that the real criminals are running this country. The real criminals should be in jail. The wealth of this country is extracted from people all over the world. In Cuba, they used to extract it from Cuba, and they made a revolution in Cuba. That's why we hate that country. We want to steal the resources of Cuba and other countries around the world. Now, I'm also a member of the Newspaper Guild. And at the Newspaper Guild, we had a resolution in Cuba. And it was attacked by some people in the Newspaper Guild saying that Julian Assange was a rapist in order to prevent it from being passed. But it's a lie, but that's the kind of propaganda that the United States puts out. The propaganda that they put out is that Cuba is a criminal country. No, the United States is a criminal country. That's the real criminals. All over the world, they're bombing people illegally. They're invading countries around the world. Those are the real criminals. And the fact of the matter is, in San Francisco, you have Feinstein, you have Pelosi, and what are they doing? What are they doing? They're supporting more wars abroad. They're supporting the sanctions against Cuba, the sanctions against Venezuela, the sanctions against North Korea. They're starving people all over the world for U.S. imperialism. That's why I'm a member of the United Front Committee for a Labor Party, because we really need a political party of all the working class. Workers are on strike rate in this country right now. They're angry and fed up, and they should be, because during the pandemic they died because they had no PPE. They died because they didn't have medical care. That is what capitalism is about. That's what U.S. imperialism is about. We have to unify working people in this country. We have to have a general strike against this government. That's the kind of action that will stop U.S. imperialism. It's not going to be appeals to Biden and the goodness of the Democrats that stops this war, these wars abroad, including the war on Cuba. And there is a war on Cuba. They're trying to crush Cuba, and Cuba amazingly has survived that war. And we want it to continue to survive. Cuba has a right to live. Cuba has a right to, and the way we believe it will live is by workers in this country joining with Cuba. The CWA and the AFL-CIO should be demanding an end to the sanctions and the blockade. Instead, the AFL-CIO is taking $75 billion a year from the National Endowment for Democracy. What is the National Endowment for Democracy? It's a CIA operation supporting revolution, counter-revolutions around the world. We have to organize in our unions to get the labor movement to support Cuba to support Julian Assange for his freedom and to support a workers' party against the pills policies of this government. Thank you, brothers and sisters.
Thank you, Steve. Yes, workers all over the world need to unite. Workers united will never be divided. Workers united will never be divided. Workers united will never be divided. Okay, before we...
All right. So the guy's name was Steve. Again, he's affiliated with the Free Assange thing, some sort of group. Forgot exactly, but Bay Area for Assange, I think. His speech was based 100%, and I think probably the best quality audio that I got because he was actually loud. I'm gonna do two more quick speeches. There was a bunch more, kind of same sentiment, so I'm not gonna go over it. There was like some sort of thing happening during this. So there was definitely some sort of gusano Cuban guy that was pissed off and yelling at a lady who was holding this lady right here. Actually, I stopped sharing. So one of these older ladies was getting yelled at by a Cuban guy for her support of the Cuban people. And he was a gusano and he, pro-American, pit bull type guy. He was yelling at her, and like I wasn't recording. I was trying to go. So this is one of those things. I was trying to go live on Twitch, and I thought I was live on Twitch, and I had it all recorded from my phone on Twitch, and it never uploaded. So I have to figure out what's going on with Twitch because I lost a lot of good speeches because I thought that I thought I was live on Twitch. So a lot of these speeches I didn't get, unfortunately. Let me now share one more thing, just a quick little chant, and then gonna do another quick thing, and I'm gonna do this announcement about this cool action being planned for this Friday. Okay, that was like the end of the protest, and I have one more clip from this, not protest, but rally. I have one more clip to share, but what was I going to say about this? Yes, keep a lookout on November 15th. There's going to be some sort of coup or large protest that the news is going to talk about either on November 15th or sometime after November 15th. There's going to be something that happens in Cuba. And they're going to be trying to start a war, try to invade, try to do something, some sort of coup attempt is going to happen. So just keep an eye out for this. So last clip I want to share, it's like 30 seconds. And thank you guys for sticking through this stream. And I know that my transitions need some work and I ramble off a lot and the audio quality is bad, but thank you guys. Again, appreciate anyone who's watching this live or does a review later in life. So thank you. Last thing.
Nancy Pelosi, you know that she doesn't communicate with her constituents unless they have a barrel of money to give her or some development that she can make money off of. Anyway, we're going to be up there starting at 5:30, have a people's assembly at 6, and a free vegan dinner for everyone at 7 or 7:30. Please come up and join us. Some of us are staying overnight. Thank you, Cynthia. We hope y'all can...
Okay. It was really quick. I didn't get the whole thing. That was her name's Cynthia Papermaster of Code Pink, Golden Gate chapter. They are organizing on this Friday, November 5th, outside of Nancy Pelosi, one of Nancy Pelosi's homes, on her home on Broadway in San Francisco. There's going to be a People's Assembly organized at 5:30 to vent and tell Nancy Pelosi to get her shit together and vote for the things we want, pass the Medicare, bring Medicare for all to a floor vote, all the things. There's going to be a People's Assembly organized by Code Pink on November 5th, starting at 5:30 at Nancy Pelosi's Broadway house. There'll be more information about this as soon as I learn. I forget the exact address, but I will post it on my Twitter, and I will try to go live at this event, and I'm going to try to either sleep over with them. So it's going to be a People's Assembly. Anyone's going to have the floor to tell Nancy Pelosi what is on their mind. And I'm sure there's going to be lots of passionate things, so I will do my best to film them with good quality audio. And I'm going to try to sleep over because there's going to be people sleeping over at this event. There's also going to be a vegan dinner at 7:30. So if you're in San Francisco or around and you want to go tell Nancy Pelosi what's up, this Friday, November 5th, at her home, one of her homes on Broadway Avenue in San Francisco. So that's what I wanted to say towards the end of this stream. Look for more information about that. I owe everybody all the speeches from the Dia de los Muertos March for Medicare for All event. Again, I need to put the speeches up. I'm going to work on that this week, so look out for those. But yeah, Nancy Pelosi's house, November 5th, this Friday, November 5th, 5:30, People's Assembly. Spread the word. I will be going live there as soon as I get off work. Yes, so thank you guys for it. Spread the word. Spread the word about it. Code Pink's organizing this, but People's Assembly, March 5th, November 5th, Friday, November 5th, 5:30, Nancy Pelosi's Broadway home in San Francisco. There will be an Occupy overnight. They're going to be occupying the public space outside of one of her homes overnight. And I think that's awesome. So thank you guys. Thank you guys. Thank you very much for staying. Less Bones, Radical Leftist Agenda, Invalid. Thanks for showing up. Nice to meet you. Anyone else who's watching? There's a few people watching, haven't commented. What's up with that? Drop a comment, share the video, do the things. I hope everyone has a good rest of their Monday night. I'll see you in the YouTube chats. Thank you guys very much. Peace out. And yeah, peace.